Assalamualaikum and very good morning. Let me continue with another presentation based on an article published in Geriatrics and Gerontology International Journals or GGI entitled Association Between Functional Limitation and Depression Among Community Dwelling Older Adults in Malaysia. WHO estimates that 1 in 5 older adults have mental or neurological disorders and approximately 7% have depression. Depression in older adults may be mistakenly labeled as normal aging process. Studies have shown various known factors for depression in older adults, such as chronic medical illness, physical or cognitive functional decline, physical immobility, polypharmacy, experiencing multiple losses, and social isolation. Disability and depression are known to coexist, and studies reported depression as higher among those with high level or dependent on daily activities. This study aimed to assess the association between functional limitation and depression among these community-dwelling older adults. This study is part of the NHMS 2018, a community-based nationwide cross-sectional study which employed two-stage stratified random sampling design. In this module, we have to exclude those who were blind, deaf, illiterate, and having probable dementia, which are screened using IDEA, as this module used self-administered tool to assess depression. For depression, we use Malay version geriatric depression scale, with those scores 6 and above were categorized as clinically significant depression. Functional limitations on activity of daily living or ADL were assessed using two locally validated tools. Difficulties in basic self-care were assessed using Bartle's ADL, while complex functional limitations were assessed using Lawton instrumental ADL. Examples of basic ADL include feeding or dressing, while IADL include organizational skills such as preparing food or handling medications. Other tools for this study include questionnaire on urinary incontinence diagnosis and Duke's Social Support Index. Our study found that 11.2% of older adults in Malaysia have depression. Analysis on factors that were associated with depression found that depression was 3 times higher among those with limitation in basic ADL, while those with instrumental ADL have twice higher risk of depression. Older adults with incontinence were 3 times more likely to have depression, while those with chronic medical illness were 44% higher risk of having depression. Our analysis also found that depression was associated with smokers, those with poor social support, and older adults from disadvantaged groups. In general, the prevalence of depression among community-dwelling older adults in Malaysia was higher than the world estimates. Thus, this public health problem should be the focus of gerontology service in Malaysia. Our finding on the association between depression and ADL and IADL concur with other studies. Due to the design of our study, we cannot investigate the causal relationship between these two. However, this causal relationship was observed in China longitudinal study, but not in France multi-site cohort study. Other findings on risk factors for depression, such as chronic medical illness, incontinence, and the importance of social support, also seen in other studies. So it is important for Ministry of Health to consider screening for depression among older adults who come to our facilities with the mentioned risk factors. As a take-home message, I have 4 points here. Number 1, depression among older adults in Malaysia almost twice higher than the world estimates. Number 2, various factors coexist with depression. Number 3, screening for depression among those high-risk older adults should be considered. And number 4, for overall well-being of older adults, we have to treat both mental and physical health. Listed here are some of my references, and with that, I thank you.